Democrat operative Letitia James is furious. So's Jack Smith over Judge Engeron's terrible court case. Remember where they charged Trump $454 million in a civil fraud judgment appeal. CNN says that whole thing is likely to get overturned. We got the article here. This is good news. Welcome to the Doug TenNapel channel. We're all here in exile. I'm so glad you've joined me. I hope you're glad enough to join us by subscribing. Here's the article. CNN Politics takeaways from the New York court hearing on Trump's $454 million civil fraud judgment appeal. New York, CNN, New York Appeals Court grilled attorneys for both Donald Trump and the New York Attorney General's office Thursday over the $454 million fraud judgment against the former president, raising questions about the size of the penalty and the scope of the Attorney General's authority, even to bring it. The Attorney General, Letitia James, do you even have the authority to bring this case? It's entirely possible it gets thrown out, guys, because it just stinks. This thing stinks. It always stank. And they only wanted to get it done not to make Trump pay that price. It was supposed to just taint him for this election, which didn't work because Trump is still winning in polls. It didn't work. Trump did not attend Thursday's oral argument, but his lawyers are seeking to overturn the judgment levied by state judge Arthur Engeron, remember creepy Engeron, in February, who found that Trump and his sons, Donald Trump Jr. and Eric Trump, and his business liable for fraud, as well as issuing false financial statements and false business records. Remember, this is the case where they had no jury. So, of course, it was just Judge Engeron. And it was the case where they brought in all these other businessmen who also said the banks all came in and said, we had no injury. Nothing happened to us. There was no crime, they said. The appellate hearing is yet another legal development for Trump, playing out the same time as his presidential campaign hits the home stretch. In addition to the civil fraud appeal, Trump's lawyers have argued to dismiss the guilty verdict in the New York criminal case, the federal election interference case in Washington, D.C., and the E. Jean Carroll defamation verdict, all in the past month. Let's stack them all up and dismiss them all because they're all so fraudulent. This is where where America, the Democrats decide, do they even want a legal system anymore? Because if they don't overturn all these, it's going to look really bad. And this is what appeals courts are for. This is what appeals are for. They're to overturn extreme rulings in lower courts. Justice says the size of the penalty against Trump is, quote, troubling. 5-judge appellate panel peppered Deputy New York Solicitor General Judith Vale with questions about the scope of the Attorney General's authority, the lack of alleged victims in the conduct, and the size of the penalty Engeron imposed. Why is the penalty so big? You're just gouging this guy. And they're going, where's the victims? There's no victims. No one was harmed by Trump. And the scope of the Attorney General's authority is, does Letitia James even have this authority? How is this possible, they're asking. Quote, the immense penalty in this case is troubling, unquote, said Justice Peter Moulton. Quote, how do you tether the amount that was assessed by the Supreme Court to the harm that was caused here, where the parties left those transactions happy, unquote? That is, the people who Trump supposedly defrauded, these banks, they were happy with the transaction. So why is there a penalty? No one's claimed any wrongdoing. This whole thing stinks to high heavens. Letitia James is going to get in big trouble on this one, and that makes me smile. Judge Engeron, just think about it. If this thing gets overturned, they'll be exposed for the scumbag apparatchiks that they are, for the criminal abuse of our justice system to persecute a political opponent. That's all they are. Remember, Letitia James ran on, I will get Trump. And so you have to overturn this one. Vale responded that while it was a large number, the process of disgorgement or the return of ill-gotten gains looks to take away the gain from the wrongdoer. Quote, although this is a large number, It's a large number for a couple of reasons. One, because there was a lot of fraud and illegality, unquote, she said, which is just dumb. Okay. She didn't prove any of that. She also said, quote, that is an enormous benefit they got from this conduct, unquote, of falsifying financial statements to obtain better loan rates. So again, where is the crime? He didn't benefit. I mean, he got a normal business benefit, which to a Democrat who are all communists, they're going like, how dare you earn a profit? Well, if you guys want to hear more news about this, we will keep you posted right here on the Doug TenNapel channel. Make sure you subscribe so you don't miss a single piece of news. But this is, once again, another huge win for Trump, another huge loss for Letitia James, who is furious, going, I ran on getting Trump, and now he's slipping through my claws. I'm Doug in exile.